Vasudevaya. So I'll just start with the Sanskrit, and I'll read the synonyms, the word for word, and the translation. Nemam vidincho na bhavo nashir apyanga samshraya prasadam lebhire gopi yatat prapa vimuktidat. So, not. Imam, this exalted position. Virichana, let me save it. Lord Brahma, na, nor. Bhavaha, Lord Shiva, na, nor. Shrihi, the goddess of fortune. Api, indeed. Anga Samshraya, although she is always the better half of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prasadam, mercy. Lebhire, obtained. Gopi, Mother Yashoda. Yattat, as that which. Prapa, obtained. Vimukti, dat. From Krishna, who gives deliverance from this material world. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Neither Lord Brahma, nor Lord Shiva, nor even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer from this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. Commentary purport. This is a comparative study between Mother Yashoda and the other devotees of the Lord, as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 5, 142, Ekale Ishvara Krishna, Arashava Bhritya. The only supreme master is Krishna, and all others are his servants. The rest of the verse also says, Yari Yaichi Nachaya, Setaichi Karinitya, which means not only are they his servants, they dance as he makes them. Krishna has the transcendental quality of Bhritya Vasyata, becoming subordinate to his Bhritya, or servant. Now, although everyone is Bhritya, and although Krishna has the quality of becoming subordinate to his Bhritya, the position of Mother Yashoda is the greatest. Lord Brahma is Bhritya, a servant of Krishna, and he is Adikavi, the original creator of this universe. Tene Brahma Hridaya Ya Adikavaye. Nonetheless, he could not obtain such mercy as Mother Yashoda. As for Lord Shiva, he is the topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhuhu. What to speak of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi, is the Lord's constant companion in service, since she always associates with his body. But even she could not get such mercy. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was surprised, thinking, what did Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj do in their previous lives, by which they got such a great opportunity, the opportunity to be the affectionate father and mother of Krishna? In this verse, there are 3 negative pronouncements, na, na, na. When anything is uttered 3 times, do it, do it, do it, do it, one should understand that this is meant to indicate great stress on a fact. In this verse, we find nalebhire, nalebhire, nalebhire. Yet Mother Yashoda is in the supermost exalted position, and thus Krishna has become completely subordinate to her. The word vimuktidat is also significant. There are different types of liberation, such as sayujya, salokya, sarupya, sharshti, and samipya. But vimukti means a special mukti, when, After liberation, one is situated in the platform of prema bhakti. One is said to have achieved vimukti, special mukti. Therefore, the word na is mentioned. The exalted platform of prema is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as prema pum arto mahan, and Mother Yashoda naturally acts in such an exalted position in loving affairs. She is therefore a Nitya Siddha devotee, an expansion of Krishna's Ladini potency. His potency to enjoy transcendental bliss through expansions who are special devotees, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prati Bhavitabhi. Such devotees are not sadhana siddha. Okay. So I'll just say a prayer. I'll say our Mugala Charnam. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Miltam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Gadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagna Raghunatam Vitam Tan Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you, Ananda Bihari ji, and thank you everyone. I want to I want to thank Ananda Bihari for. I ran into Ananda Bihari the other day. He said, "Kula, would you like to give class again in September?" I was like, "Okay." And thank you for also reminding me of my my humbling history with blowing the conch. There's a story, the background story there, but I thank also Arjuna Prabhu and Adi Purush Prabhu for always encouraging and supporting and giving advice about how to be a devotee in the world. And for all the senior devotees, thank you for showing and sharing with us the mercy of Sri Gaurachandra Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada, and showing us Sri Krishna, and Sri Radha and Krishna. And thank you to everyone that hears the Bhagavatam every day here, or even if just for today. So I wanted to speak. Well, I didn't want to speak. I was just kind of I was meditating on the verse today, and it seems more of a focus on the glories of Mother Yashoda. In the purport, it says here more specifically, it's a comparative study between Mother Yashoda and the devotees of the Lord. I think we've gone through, I've listened to some of the previous classes. I apologize because my schedule has changed quite a bit. I used to be here more often, and it was nice to kind of catch up and listen to the previous classes with Krishna and Nirvika. And yesterday Champaka gave a great discussion about these this pastime and surrender and the difficulties in life, and how surrender is such an essential part of our practice. A few things that I we know about Mother Yashoda. One is that it says here also at the end of the purport that she is Nitya Siddha, that she is a perfected individual. And in the commentary, they make a distinction between Nitya Siddha and then this Sadhana Siddha. Sadhana Siddha, so perfected through sadhana, or someone who is eternally perfected. We also know that they were born. Previous birth was Drona and Tara, and through a benediction of Brahma, they were born as a request and a benediction coming from a request to Brahma and the benediction coming from him, that they were born as the parents of Bhagavan Shri Krishna in this life, in this lila. But this is the eternal lila. This is their eternal status, and that is also part of that eternality. Here also there is a bit of a comparison, and to kind of give that as a context here, you have Brahma and Shiva. Neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva, or even the goddess of fortune. So here, well, first of all, Lord Brahma, who is also had personal contact, interaction with Krishna, and the prayers to Govinda, he's an exalted devotee. And the same thing can be said of Shiva, who is also praised as the topmost Vaishnava, and he also is the protector of the Rasa Leela. If you go to Vrindavan, there is a Gopeshwara Mahadev. Everybody has gone to visit, or maybe you have. There's one temple in Vrindavan that if you go in the daytime, it's a Shiva Linga, and in the nighttime, that they dress the Shiva Linga in a sari, and he is Gopeshwara Mahadev. So he's the protector for the entrance into Krishna's Leela. But on top, and then also there, in comparison to Lakshmi, who here is described as, they describe in the translation, the better half, Anga Samshraya. Well, Anga, the shelter of the, who's always, I think, literally it seems to be Anga is like a limb. Samshraya is like is some shelter. So she's always sheltered, but we've, in a nice way, translated it, the shelter, always under the shelter of Narayan as the better half. It's an interesting, I actually like that. But even Lakshmi Devi, who accompanies Narayan constantly, no one can compare to the mercy that is received by Mother Yashoda. So this is, she is quite special. And I think that that's the point that I think that's something that I've been meditating on. I think that that's being emphasized is that Mother Yashoda, as Nitya Siddha, there is no one that is as great as Mother Yashoda. The love, the bhakti that is expressed by Mother Yashoda is very exemplary. Not just exemplary, there's no comparison to it in the world. There's no comparison to it in existence. They've listed some of the most, the devatas, of all the devatas, the daityas, there is no one that has this relationship with Krishna. As in the previous chapter, they were speaking about the pastime in which Mother Yashoda sees inside Krishna's mouth, and she sees the universe. And in that section, they say that Vasudeva, Devaki, Nanda, and Yashoda have very special births. However, However, Mother Yashoda is specifically special because she spends every moment with Krishna as his mother, especially in this time of it, in this part of the Leela, where many of the greatest of his great pastimes of the great Leela take place. She is there. She knows where he is. She is a mother in that. She is a mother in that sense. She always knows where Krishna is, even though we know he's playing out in the field and there are many things happening with the cowherd boys. That is the role of a mother. So that was just the first thing I wanted to kind of go over. I saw somebody had posted, specifically stated, let me see here in the chat. No one can compare to the mercy of Mother Yashoda that Mother Yashoda can give. She is Nitya Siddha, thus her love is the highest and very exemplary. Of all the devatas, there's no one who has this relationship with Krishna. Well, yeah, sorry, that's that's the note. But that is something that I think is important as we go into this season. So I was just kind of going through my notes there, but I wanted to just reflect a little also. We're kind of currently, and we have been in a very kind of festive period. And I'm one of the pujaris, and I'm blessed to have that. But these are, and as we go through this period of Janmastami, and we go through now on Saturday will be Radhastami. We are in this, we are usually, but especially going from this time and then into Kartik, it's this kind of very meditative time. It's not meditative, it's meditative. It's an opportunity to meditate and think about Krishna. But for example, so as a pujari when we do like Abhishek, or if we're doing Snan, for me, it's a meditation. If I'm bathing Krishna's feet, I think of the feet that, walk through Vrindavan, or his hand that holds the flute, or his hand that lifted Govardhan as the water bathes his arm. We think this is the hand that lifted Govardhan. And this is my meditation of Murlidhar, Sri Murlidhar. And then also in the waist, the Udara, this is the waist that was bound by Mother Yashoda. And as we did the Julan Yatra, this was also an opportunity for a meditation of Radha and Krishna on the swing. We did that. It's almost as if we're brought to Vrindavan, that mood of Vrindavan. And so Mother Yashoda is a special devotee because she is what would be categorized by Rupa Goswami as a ragatmika. She is the exemplar of devotion. It is natural, it's eternal. She is a Nitya Siddha. And Raganuga Bhakti is the type of bhakti where they are serving the ragatmikas. Now, I as I said, I was listening to other friends and from the temple. I saw Kishore Chandra also gave a nice class speaking about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti, and the importance and the value of Vaidhi. Excuse me. Let's see, 1 second here. Wanted to get my note here. So during this time, it's important to have a few things that a meditation. I think as I read through the passages, I wanted to think of a meditation, and two, a prayer to Krishna, to give prayer to help increase bhakti. But I think the important thing here is looking at I had some insight about trying to understand Mother Yashomati and her relationship to Krishna. So if you don't mind, I'll share these meditations. There are a few things that I think can be, they call these, they have these things in Buddhism called koans. They're these things that you meditate that are supposed to be contrasting concepts. And then it helps you kind of focus on a special concept. And this is a bhakti, more of like a bhakti meditation, bhakti koan in that way. But there are a few things that I thought that were helping me kind of praise and be in awe of the wonder of Mother Yashoda. One of those things is the idea, and I won't just pontificate. Actually, I have this intention that I want to, in a few minutes, I'm just going to read from some passages, but from Lila. But just to share these 2 points of meditation and then kind of develop a prayer from there. The first concept is that what we saw in, say, in the previous chapter more clearly, but we see it here also, is that there's this Mother Yashoda is focusing on this, seeing Krishna as Ishvara, but also she says she sees Ishvara and she sees Krishna, but she chooses Krishna. And that is something that I've said. I remember I heard from a sadhu, a swami. He said that omnipotence and omniscience, omnipotence, those are all just one aspect of Krishna. These things that we usually associate with the theology of God, like all presence, being present everywhere, knowing everything, being all powerful, that is just one little part of Krishna's wonder. And that's in comparison, if you were to think, that what if Krishna is all sweet, all beautiful? And these are all other omni statements, but Krishna is he himself, his personality. And so Mother Yashoda sees these things. She sees these things. She's here now trying to bind this, in this irony, trying to bind a rope, which had been described in the previous chapter. What was the verse? It was na chantor na bahir yashya, na purvam napi cha aparam. Purva param bahish chantar jagato ya jagat chayaha. The supreme personality of Godhead is no beginning and no end, no exterior, no interior, no front, no rear. In other words, he is jagat, jagat yo jagach. He's all pervading. He is not under the influence of the element of time. There is no difference between past, present, and future. He exists on his own transcendental form at all times. He is beyond absolute. He is absolute and he's beyond relativity. However, but still he's being bound by a rope. And so these are things that are, and that Mother Yashoda sees. She, for example, in the previous pastime, she sees the universe, but her love, I mean, she's obviously also, it says in the text that through Krishna's yoga maya, she feels love, but that's also part of the commentary here, and also another meditation. The 2 factors of kripa, Krishna kripa, his mercy, and parishrama, that is the effort. So in our devotion, there is mercy, but there is effort. There has to be a will to see that kripa. There has to be a choice. There's a choice to say, like in the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna sees the universal form. He sees everything, the existence, the universe, the solar systems, but he sees his friends, his family, he sees death, he sees time. Kalusmi Lokashaya, Krishna says. It's fearsome. And he begs Krishna to please don't show anymore. He asks him to see his 2-arm form. Please just let me see you, my friend. And in Yashoda, in the same case, she sees all of this universe, and she doesn't even ask. But she just sees him in a blink. She sees him as Krishna. She's like, "What are you doing, putting dirt in your mouth?" The love, it is yoga maya. There is grace, but there is her choice to just love this boy who is God. That's the special aspect of what and almost unparalleled bhakti that Mother Yashoda exemplifies. That love, like they say, of course, we've heard this before, probably multiple times in this pastime, that the love of the mother in the world is incomparable. I mean, it seemed for all of us and many of us, it seemed we could see it, we've experienced it. It's a very natural thing. It's also heartbreaking if it's not there, if we may lose it at some point. But the love of a mother seems constant. I mean, I always know that I could call my mother and she's going to answer, or she calls me every day. I do answer. I call back, but sometimes I'm at work. but that love of the mother it's constant. And so that love is what she is expressing towards God, towards Krishna. And that's why she is viewed as this exemplar. I want to, and then I'll say, just let the prayer for that be, as we go in through these periods of holidays and festivities, to say, in that mood, to say, pray to Krishna that in all of our kind of we're all kind of aspiring theologians. Me and my friends used to say, we wouldn't dare to say that we are theologians, but we are aspiring theologians. And I think I like to think that, my sangha, my friends, my associates here, we are theologians, aspiring theologians, because we're attempting to see God in our lives and existence. And so the prayer in the mood of Mother Yashoda is that in our trying to understand, allow us to see through love that your will allow us to see God using the vision of love. And that, I think, is also an important part of what people misunderstand. It will say later, like in the next verse, actually, it says Nayam Shukapo Bhagavan Dehinam Gopika Sutaha. I'm not going to take the verse because it's a great verse. Somebody will speak about it tomorrow. Yaninam cha atma bhutanam yatha bhaktimatam iha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service. But he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators or to those striving for self-realization by austerities or penances. There is this concept that I think that the Goswamis, the contribution to theology that the Goswamis have given, is that we can know something through love. That is the sense of bhakti. That is the theology of bhakti. That you could understand things through rationality. That's why there's so many. That, I think, is something that is a kind of missing in certain debates. Like if you see a lot of like modern science, there's now, you don't just have atheists, you have anti-theists, you have secular humanism. There's only so many varieties of what somebody who doesn't believe in God might call themselves, whether it's Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris, and they have different levels of how they want to live in a world of values without God or religion. But that one thing that is missing for them is they just always crack down on the rationality of believing in a God. But the reality is that many things the reality, what I've seen or I have personally observed, is that sometimes to understand something, you have to love it. Way to understand something is by loving that, or loving a thing gives you a greater sense of knowledge about it. And in in the Gita, he says, Matchitta Matgata Prana, Bodhiyantas Parashparam, Katyantas Cham Chamam Nityam Tushanti. No, that's no much. Oh no, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, Bhajatam Pritipurvakam, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayantite. For those that have dedicated to him, to Krishna, those that glorify him, he gives them the Dati Buddhi Yogam Tam. He gives them the knowledge by which they can come through him. But it comes from love. So to know a thing is to love a thing is to know it, and to love God will bring you to understand Krishna. And so Mother Sachi, the prayer is that please give me this love so that I may understand you. So it's 7:50. I can open up to questions. I have some things that I wanted to share in terms of reading, but if anybody has anything, any questions or anything, I'm happy to speak, to talk about that now. All right. So one thing that I appreciate is there is a correlation, of course, and I'm also, we're all devotees, but I have this affinity for Sri Gaurachandra. So I think of when I think of Mother Yashoda, I also think of Sachi Mata. So here I wanted to share from Chaitanya Bhagavat that there's this, when after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyas, he's left, and Mother Sachi is heartbroken. Where has her son gone, her world? And so she is in Navadvip, but somehow or other, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family, his associates, his crew, they, like Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu is going to Vrindavan, but Nityananda Prabhu tells everyone to say, hey, just tell him that the Ganges is the Yamuna. Just tell him that he's going towards Vrindavan, but he's going to stay here so he could be closer to us. So after they're kind of getting him around, he thinks he's having these ecstatic symptoms that he's now in Vrindavan. They run into Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya has to break it to him. He's like, no, you're still in Bengal. And so, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like, how that Nityananda, that cheater. So Advaita Prabhu is in Shantipur. So he brings Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there for some time. And after some time, he tells others to go to Navadvip and bring Mother Sachi. And so this is where it starts. So when they come to see Mother Sachi in Navadvip, she's completely heartbroken, drowning in an ocean of ecstatic love. She had no external consciousness. So she did not know what she said or what she heard. She said to whoever saw before her, tell me something of Mathura. How are Krishna and Balaram doing in Mathura? What is the sinful Kamsa doing now? You see, this is the mood of Mother Yashoda. Tell me what you know about the thief Akrura who stole away my Krishna and Balaram. I heard the sinful Kamsa is dead. Has Ugrasena become the king of Mathura? Sometimes Mother Sachi would call out, Rama, Krishna, come quickly and milk the cows. I have to go sell the milk. Sometimes Mother Sachi would run with a stick in her hand, saying, catch him, there goes that butter thief. Where will you flee? I will bind you today. Speaking this way, she ran around, absorbed in ecstasy. Sometimes when she saw someone nearby, she would say, let us go bathe in Yamuna. Sometimes she would cry so loudly that the heart of anyone who would hear it would melt. Tears constantly flowed from her eyes. The sound of her pathetic crying melted even wood and stone. Sometimes in meditation, she would see Krishna and she would forget herself and laugh loudly. Her wonderful and blissful laughter would sometimes continue for 6 hours. Sometimes Mother Sachi would lose consciousness in ecstasy and would show no sign of life for up to 3 hours. Sometimes she would tremble in such a way that it appeared as if someone had picked her up and thrown her to the ground. Sachi's ecstatic love for Krishna had no comparison. She alone exhibited such boundless love. But let me share also when they bring her to Shantipur. So Gaurasundar has arrived in Shantipur. Come quickly and see him. Hearing this news, Mother Sachi became pleased beyond description. Now we go here. Let me see. Okay. Mother Sachi quickly came to Shantipur, and Sri Gaurasundar was informed. As soon as Sri Gaurasundar saw his mother, he immediately offered her obeisances from a distance. He repeatedly circumambulated her and recited verses as he offered obeisances. You are the mother of the universe and the personification of devotional service. You are the form of pure goodness, beyond the modes of material nature. If you glance mercifully on the living entities, their minds will develop attachment for Krishna. You are Ganga, you are Devaki, you are Yashoda, and you are Devahuti. You are Prishni, Anushuya, Kaushalya, and you are Aditi. Everything that we see has emanated from you. You are the maintainer, and everything ultimately merges in you. Who has the power to describe your glories? You reside in the heart of everyone. The Lord who establishes religious principles offered obeisances and recited verses in this way. As the Lord repeatedly recited verses and offered obeisances, tears of love bathed his entire body. As soon as Mother Sachi saw the face of Lord Gauranga, she became stunned with transcendental ecstasy. Mother Sachi stood there like a wooden doll as the Lord of Vaikuntha respectfully offered her prayers. The Lord said, "Whatever devotion to Krishna I have is simply by your mercy. If the servant of the servant of the servant of a million times removed is related to, he is more dear to me than my own life. If a person remembers you even once, he will never be entangled in material bondage. Ganga, Tulasi are known to purify everything, but even they are purified by your touch. I have no ability to repay you for the affection you displayed while maintaining me. Therefore, let your own good qualities be your compensation for the affection you displayed for me at every hour." As the Lord offered prayers with great satisfaction in this way, all the Vaishnavas floated in ecstasy. I could read more. It goes on. In the end, even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a sannyasi, and when you take sannyas, in many ways you're dead to the world. It's a harsh way of saying it, but you're no longer part of the system. So you would not see your family. But as he goes, because of the heart-wrenching separation, he asks Mother Sachi what she would like him to do. And Mother Sachi, who loves him and understands his role in this world, says, "Go to Jagannath Puri because it's close and I can hear what's happening from Navadvip. I will know your whereabouts, but you do not have to see me." But she said, if you ever come to Shantipur, to Advaita Acharya's house, I will cook. So that is the love of Yashoda, Mother Sachi. And there is nothing comparable to it. It's 7:58. Please, if you take darshan, keep this mind in this meditation and these prayers. Pray for that love so that you can find that you would truly understand them. And if anybody else has any discussion points, I wanted to read Krishna book, but this is the original one.
Well, Pradipa, great class. Wonderful. Very therapeutic. Very elevated class. Thank you. I have a reflection.
Yes.
You were talking about this Buddhist style glorification of Krishna by contradictions. That was very nice. And then you said that to understand Krishna, you need to love him. So, and I was thinking, yeah, those two are tying in together like that. To understand all the contradictions that Krishna may have, we just need to love him. We just need to love the blue boy. Yeah, thank you very much. Just wanted to reflect that.
Thank you. Thank you, Nanda Bihariji. Thank you so much.
Would anyone else like to contribute?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Kula, how are you? It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Listening to this pastime, and my Guru Maharaj, he's very fond of saying that there is no rationality, nor is there any logic to love. It's so true on so many levels. And to hear about Mother Sachi's, I don't know, I guess she was, I don't know what, it's not illusion that she was in. She was, it was ecstatic. It was ecstatic love.
That's all it could be.
That's all it is. And a mother's love is unconditional and uncomparable. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's nothing like it. It is a very special love. We speak about many different types of love, but that love of Mother Yashoda, Mother Sachi, it's intense, it's powerful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaktiji.
Okay, who's next, dear devotees? We can squeeze in one more.
No problem.
I was
It's
Angelica.
I just want to say that I'm feeling very touched, just imagining the tears of Mother Sachi melting the stones and wood as she's crying. And it's just like imagining how the environment becomes the imprint of all those pastimes, and how also these stones are melting themselves in her association as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just meditating on that. Incredible. It's just so incredible.
Yeah. It's very, if you read these pastimes, you read in Krishna book, you read Chaitanya Bhagavat. The Chaitanya Bhagavat. Vrindavan Das Thakur, he is a poet, exemplar of poetry. He is so good. It's heartbreaking.
See, this is why Angelica is keeping her camera off. She's in tears. Angelica, you're a very elevated soul. Okay. All right. Kula Pradipa Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All the mothers in our movement ki jai. Mother Sachi especially ki jai today goes to you, Mother Sachi. Kula Pradipa Prabhu, you are relishing those pastimes. Wow. You really live in the life of a Vaishnava.
Wow. No. Just a shadow. I'm trying.
Yeah, Angelica. Okay. Angelica lives the life. Kula Pradipa, just a shadow. No problem. We'll leave it at that.
Yes. Okay, very good.
Okay. All right. Hare Krishna, everybody. Have a wonderful Friday. Dedicate your Friday to Krishna. Get elevated by enjoying Krishna's pastimes, and come back tomorrow. Don't go away. Hare Krishna. Kula, we love you. Hare Krishna.
Love you too.